Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's session. We're now going to proceed with the session. So this week's session is focusing on the Wiley Online Library database. My name is Sanda Nyoka, and I am the Principal Librarian for Law, Humanities, and Education. So for the session, we are going to be looking at a number of ways in which you can navigate or search within the platform in order to be able to find credible resources that you can make use of. So as mentioned, we are going to be looking at a number of ways in which one can navigate the Wiley online database in order to find credible resources. So for the session, we're going to look at navigating Wiley. We're going to look at using the basic as well as the advanced search options. We're going to look at refining your search results. How do you go about accessing the full text as well as setting up alerts and exporting citations? Now, the Wiley Online Library is an academic database that contains both journals as well as books. So it covers a wide range of subjects, and the different subjects that it covers range from agriculture, architecture, arts, chemistry, computer science, earth, space, and environmental sciences, alongside the humanities, law, and criminology, the life sciences, mathematics and statistics, medicine, psychology, physical science, nursing. So it covers a wide range of subjects, and it is important that when conducting your research, it is one of the databases that you can have a look at or explore. Now, how do you access the database? Again, the starting point is the library's website, and from the library's website, there is an entry for the database's A to Z link, wherein you can get to see a full list of databases that we subscribe to. So this is what you'd then see. And from the list of databases here, you have the option to type in the actual database title that you're looking for here, or to browse using the first letter of the database. For an example, the letter W is where we would find the Wiley Online Library database. Now, after you've clicked on the letter W, you'd get to see the Wiley Online Library database. And once you click on the access option or method, that's where you'd be asked to authenticate. A reminder that in order to authenticate, you need to first select your relevant category. If you're staff, you select staff. If you're a student, then you'd select the students option. And after selecting that, you'll either be asked to key in your username and password, which is the same details that you use to access your RU Connected account. And if you're a staff member, you'd be asked to sign in using your email address. Now, should you have or encounter any challenges with signing into our resources, please do send us an email so that we can have a look at what the problem could be. Now, this is what the Wiley Online Library interface looks like. And this afternoon, we're going to be exploring this database. But what I would like to mention or highlight as important is that whenever it is that you're accessing any of the databases that we've been showing you in the library, please access them via the Rhodes University Library in order for the database to sign you in as a Rhodes University student or staff member. So if you're searching for resources and you see that most of the resources or all of the resources for that matter, you don't have access to, it usually would happen that you're not signed in or you're not recognized as a Rhodes University student or staff member. Another thing that the Wiley Online Library does is that it will allow you to browse titles, but it will also list new titles that have been added onto the Wiley Online Library platform. So what we're now going to do is we're now going to cross over for the live demonstration. And for the live demonstration, we're going to start off on the library's website. So I'm just going to click on the library's website here. And I mentioned that on the library's website, there is the option for databases A to Z link. There's the option for the databases A to Z link, as well as the option to access these databases via the subject guide. So you can access all of the databases that we show you through your curated subject guides, but you can also access them using the databases A to Z option. So when I click on the databases A to Z option, there's going to be a list of databases listed according to the alphabetical orders. And for the specific one that we're looking for, it's under the letter W. So we're going to click on the letter W, and then we'll get to see other databases that fall within the same letter. But then the one that we are looking at this afternoon is the Wiley Online Library. So we're just going to click on that. And once we click on that, the Wiley Online Library interface is going to open up, or the landing page, and this is what it looks like. So over here is where you can do your basic search, but you also have the option to do an advanced search. So we're going to start off with a basic search. And for the basic search, what we're going to be looking for, we're going to be looking at urban resilience or climate adaptation and sub-Saharan Africa. So I'm going to go ahead with my search string. That urban resilience or climate adaptation. Okay, the climate adaptation, it doesn't have to be in capital letters, but I see I typed it all out in capital letters. And then I'm just going to close my search string. Sub-Saharan Africa. And then what we've done with the search string there, we've used Boolean operators, Boolean operator or, as well as Boolean operator and. So we use the Boolean operator or in order to broaden our search. And what we're saying to the database is find results that include either one of the terms. And then Boolean operator and. We also use the Boolean operator and to sort of narrow down our search. What we're saying to the database is that the result must include this as well as that. So that is what we're saying to the database. And in this search string, what we're saying is we're looking for resources on urban resilience or climate adaptation and within the context of sub-Saharan Africa. So that's our basic search. And I'm just going to click on the search icon there. And then you get a number of results that come back for this particular search. Now, there's a number of things that you want to look at when it comes to searching on the Wiley database. For an example, there's 508 results. But as you scroll down, the first thing or option that you have with the asterisk there is to save this search. So if it is that you'd like to revisit this search again, or if maybe you are working on a systematic review where you'd like to see the search strings or strategies that you had formulated, you have the option to save the search. But I would also like to highlight that in order to be able to save the search, it has to be that you are logged in. For an example, at the top there, I am currently logged in, but from your side, what you would see, I'm just trying to quickly log out just to illustrate what would appear from your end. So what would happen is this. So you're already signed in as a Rhodes University student or staff member, but you can further log in using your Rhodes or using your Rhodes University credentials in order to create a personalized space within the Wiley online library, wherein you're able to add stuff to your favorites, you're able to save searches and do a number of things. For the first time, you'll probably be asked to register, and from there onwards, you'll be able to log in. So I'll just go with individual login. And I'm just going to go with my email address and password. And then after I've logged in, I'll be able to see any resources that I have saved searches for or added onto my favorites. So I'll just click on Save Search. Then it will give me the option to name the specific search, and then I'll just save it as a demo. And after that, you have the option to select when you'd like to be alerted to new results. For an example, if you are conducting research on the climate change topic that we're looking at, or climate adaptation, you would want to probably be notified maybe weekly or monthly should there be new resources on this particular topic. So you have the option to select when you'd like to be notified. And once you've selected that, you'll be notified as soon as there's a new article or a chapter that is published within this subject. Now, as we scroll down to the left of the pane, there's the filters option. That is another important feature that you can have a look at or make use of whenever it is that you're searching on this particular database. The reason why this is important is, as we continue scrolling down, is that it will allow you to select a specific subject. So there's a number of subjects that are listed here, and next to the subject, there'll be the number of resources available under that specific subject. For an example, the subjects that we're seeing here, if none of these subjects speak to the discipline that you're in, you can just select more. And once you select more, you'll be able to see more subjects showing up. And if still your specific subject does not appear here, where it says more subjects, you just click or select subject, and then you'll get to see the full list of subjects. And from there, you'll be able to select your specific subject area. So that is also another important way in which you can filter out your results or narrow down your search results. So you can sort of see from each subject the number of resources that are available. And if, for an example, you fall within a specific subject area and you see that for that subject area, there's only 2 resources, there's only 1 resource, then you might want to look at a different database. But this is a very helpful filter option that I would suggest you make use of when using the database. Now, apart from filtering by the subject, it's also important that you filter by the years, because sometimes you're going to be asked to use or to consult sources from the last 5 years or the last 10 years. So you will also want to pay attention to this and ensure that you filter according to the specific option that you would like to have a look at. So those are some of the important filters that are there. And if you are specifically looking for journals, you have the option to filter by the publication type, which is journals, or to filter by the books or the reference works. So I also mentioned that you can do both a basic search, which is what we've done now, and you can also do an advanced search. So I'm just going to illustrate an advanced search. And for the advanced search, what we would do is we would click on the advanced search option. And once we click on the advanced search option, you'll then see search boxes wherein you can enter your search terms, search term number 1, number 2, number 3. And if you want to add additional search boxes, there's usually a plus sign at the end of the last search box. And to the right, there's the search tips that are important the Boolean operators that we had made use of when we were doing the basic search. You also get to see them here being mentioned, as well as examples on how to use these different search tips. And another thing is that between the searches, the database automatically puts in the Boolean operator and. So for this advanced search, I'm going to um, do a search for AI tools or generative AI, including students or university students. So I'll just type out my search string first. AI tools or generative AI. So we use brackets when we are grouping like terms. That's why I have them there with the Boolean operator or. And then my second string, I'm going to go with students or university students. And then my third string, I'm going to use learning or assessment or writing. Right. And then as you scroll down, it will give you options to filter. If you want to filter out by a specific publication, you can filter out. If you want to filter by the publication date, you can also filter out. But even after having done the advanced search, you'll still have the option to filter out your search results. So there we'll see we have a number of search results that are showing up. And one of the things that we are going to look at or touch on is that for this specific search, we have a combination of articles and chapters. So whenever it is that you're accessing the Wiley database, please be on the lookout for the access icons. If the icon has a full access option, that means it is something that we have access to. And if it has an open access next to it, it means you can also access it. For an example, this one is free access. So free access, full access, as well as open access, those are things you should be able to download or have access to. But in the event that you don't have access to something, you still have the option to request it via interlibrary loan. So the first thing here is that when you are searching, you want to again to refine your search. For this specific example, I'll filter out by the education subject. So right on the left where we have our filtering options, I'll click on more because I can't see education there. And then under more subjects, I'll select the subject and then locate education. And there's a number of results from education. So we're moving from about 12,000 to about 1,090, which is still a lot. And that's where you now get to look at the dates, because this is results from 1998 to 2026. So you have the option to filter by the last 10 years or to filter by the last 5 years. So any of the options that you select, you want to make sure that you continue to narrow down your search results accordingly. So if you select the last 5 years, the last 2 years, or if you want something that's more recent, the last 3 months or the last month or so, you have those filtering options available to you for your research. Now, apart from the options to filter, right at the top we had highlighted to the save search option, but there's something that you probably are also seeing is that there's the articles and chapters option, and there's also the collections option. So with regards to the articles and chapters option, this is where most of your actual research content lives. So most of the time you'll be found or you'll be searching through the articles and chapters option over here. And this lists journal articles as well as book chapters. And the nice part with this is that each result is something that you can read, cite, and use directly in your assignment. Whereas with the collections option is not the content itself, it is a grouping of the content. So what happens here is that they have a bundle or a category of the subject that you're searching in. For an example, under the collections here, we have this special issue on generative AI in math, science, and STEM education. If we click on this special issue, the articles that we'll see within the special issue are articles that dealt with matters relating to generative AI or artificial intelligence. So you'd need to click within a collection in order to be able to browse the articles within that specific collection. So it is also a good thing to have a look at or to make use whenever it is that you are conducting your research. But please do pay attention to the fact that when you are browsing from this side, you are browsing from the collection. So you have to open up the actual collection in order to browse the articles within that collection. Whereas if you're in the articles and chapters option, you get to directly access the articles as well as the chapters option. So what we're also going to do is I want us to then look at, apart from the saving option, I want us to look at one of the articles here. I'll just click on the one that's at the top there. And once we click on the article, we'll then be able to see a PDF icon. So where the PDF icon, that's where you'd be able to download this particular article in order to read it at a later stage. But another important thing that's available or that you can do on the database is to export citations. So right next to where the PDF icon is, we have that cite option. So if you click on that cite option, you have the option to copy a citation, but you also have the option to download a citation. So for the download citation option, it will ask you to select a format, and that is where you need to select a format according to the specific reference manager that you are using. For an example, if you are someone that's using Zotero, then this RIS format is what would work based on Zotero. But if you're using RefWorks, there is an entry for RefWorks, there is another one for EndNote. So what you do is you just click on the specific citation that you want to download, and you'd click on the download option, and then the citation will be downloaded. You'll just double click on it. Then it will ask you if you want to have this added onto your library or imported into your new collection. I'll just click OK. So you have that option to download citation on each of these databases that we show you, and it is a very helpful tool to look at. And another thing is that if you would like to add specific items to your favorites, but that is if you are signed in, the tools option will allow you to add to favorites. So the tools option will allow you to add to favorites. If you click on that, then this will be exported into your favorites collection. There it is appearing there under my favorites, and I have also another article that's there under the favorites option. So if it is that you're not going to read it now but have earmarked it as one of the important articles that you'd like to read, you can import it, export it into your citations, and you can also add it onto your favorites so that when you come back to the Wiley database, you just go to your favorites and then read through those articles again. But also the nice part about this is that it will show you the article, but to the far right, it will also have specific recommendations that it is making of similar articles that you can have a look at or read through based off the first search that you had conducted. And another thing that you're able to do is to view the matrix. So with viewing matrix, you're just checking how many times an article was cited or downloaded and stuff like that. So there is the option there to view matrix. So matrix are like quantitative measures used to assess the impact, reach, and engagement of individual research papers. So for this one, the full text views is 592. So it has been viewed quite a lot considering that it is a 2026 article. So you have that option to view the matrix as well. So that is opening up the specific journal article and then interacting or engaging with the different options that you have access to. Now, if you would like to create an alert for a specific article, what you can also do is where we went for the favorites, you'd click on the tools option and then you'd click on track citation. Once you click on the track citation option, you will then receive a citation alert for this specific article that you've looked at. So should there be any changes or engagements or other people citing this specific article, you would then be informed about such changes. So you have a number of options to play around with on the Wiley research database. And apart from the articles, there's also books. And I would like to recommend that you also have a look at the books. And if it is that we don't have access to a particular book, but you see that such a book will be of great assistance to your studies, you can still let us know so that we can pursue request options. I'm just going to click on this particular book chapter here. So when you click on the particular book chapter, if the PDF icon appears there, it means this is something that you can download or have access to. But in instances where it's something that we don't have access to, even though at the top there it says Rhodes University, it will at the bottom say your institution does not have access to this. So then you'll know that we don't have access to such a resource or a book. So please be on the lookout for that. It's not everything that's available here that we will have access to. Some of the things we might not be subscribing to, but a wide range of the resources that are available on the database are resources that we subscribe to. I'll now go back to the landing page. So we've done a basic search. We've also done an advanced search. What I also want to highlight is that you have the option to browse each of the resources that are available on the Wiley online library. So with the journals, if you click on the 2000 plus journals, that's where you'll be able to see all the journal publications that are available here. But the nice part is that even when you browse according to the journals, you still have the option to filter by a specific subject. For an example, if you are in the anthropology department, you then get to see the specific publications or journals that fall under or within the anthropology scope, and you'll get to see which ones we have full access to, which ones we do not have full access to. So it is quite interesting to be able to browse the different journals that are available. I'm going to click on this specific journal title, The American Anthropologist, and when browsing through the journals, as soon as you open up the specific journal title, what it will do is that it will give you metrics first, but as you scroll down, it will give you the most recent articles from this particular journal. After giving you the most recent articles from this particular journal, it will also give you the option to view the most cited and the option to view the most downloaded articles from this particular journal. So you have that option to browse through the different journals that exist within a particular subject area. So that is also a nice thing to do. And apart from just browsing the journals, you can also browse through the online books. The online books I usually recommend, especially if you want to explore resources that are available and that can be used as part of your research. It's not all of them that we'll have access to, but it is worth exploring what is available in the different subjects or disciplines that are available within the Wiley online database. And apart from this one, another thing that we'll do is we'll go back to the home page again. So what we had done now was just basic search, then we did an advanced search, and then you also have the option to browse through these resources here. And apart from that, I did mention when we were looking at the PowerPoint that there was the option, if we scroll down just a bit past the subjects, there was the option wherein you could view the new additions that have been made to the Wiley online library. So these will be listed here. You have the option to view them directly from here. You also have the option to browse all the titles that are available on the Wiley platform. And from there, you'll be able to filter out by books, by journals, by reference works, as well as by a specific book series alongside the subject area or the option. Now, apart from just browsing these new resources that have been added on Wiley, I did mention that it covers a wide range of subject areas that you can interact with or engage in. So apart from doing a basic search or an advanced search, you can also explore content using the subjects listed on the landing page. And for this afternoon, an example that I'm going to be using the humanities subject as an example. So I'll just scroll down to get to humanities. And once I open up the humanities subject, I'm going to go with the language and linguistics option. So if you are within a specific department, you can use the subject in order to browse or to see what's available under the specific subject. So if we go to language and linguistics, we'll see a list of subtopics that cover or speak to language and linguistics. So this is very nice, is a nice way of exploring content on the online library, because what it allows you to do is you move from a broad subject area and then it narrows down to a specific topic within that broad subject area. Now, what you can do is you have the option to browse by a specific topic from these topics here. For an example, if you are looking at linguistic anthropology, if you're looking at bilingualism or applied linguistics or educational linguistics, it allows you to draw down into a specific subject area. But as you scroll down on this option here, what it will do is that it will also list the most recent articles. Now, these recent articles that are listed here, they come from different journals, but because they are grouped under the language and linguistics subject, it's resources that you'll be able to browse through. So it makes the browsing option much more easier. If it's open access, we have access to it. If it's free access or full access, it also is something that we have access to. So you'd be able to read from here. But if you want to be specific again in terms of the articles that it recommends or that it shows, you also have the option to select a specific topic here in order to narrow down the articles that are recommended for this particular topic that you're looking at. So for an example, I went with educational linguistics as a topic, and it will then give me the specific journals that form part of educational linguistics and that you can explore or have a look at. See, it's also including books, but if you want to filter out, you can filter out to journals or specifically using books. So it's very important that you make use of the different features that they offer or provide you with as part of conducting your research. And another thing that I would like to highlight is that when we started our research, we started off by using a set of keywords wherein we made use of Boolean operators, but some databases do allow students to type out questions or to type out a bit more other than using set strings, but we strongly advocate for the use of set strings when searching. I'm just going to illustrate with a search here that says AI use in education, and then I'll run my search. So after running that search, you can see we are getting a lot of results, but some of the results that are being returned back will be useful or relevant results depending on what is on the database. But if you are conducting research at an advanced level, you want to make sure that instead of searching like this, you want to include relevant concepts that form part of your topic or that speaks to the specific area that you are interested in exploring or are having a look at. So those are some of the things to look out for. And again, the full access option shows that it's something that we have access to. You also have the option to read through the abstract in order to determine if this is something that would be useful or helpful for your specific research. So there's a number of ways in which you can go about searching for resources, but it is mostly advised or suggested that you try and use or work with search strings, even if you are conducting a basic search or even if you are conducting an advanced search. Using those concepts is much more helpful or beneficial compared to just sticking with or just using the words or the sentences that form part of your topic. Now, what I also want to illustrate before we close is that even when you are searching using the advanced search, how you work or play around with the keywords plays an important role. So when searching on these databases, Wiley is one of them, it's important that you play around with different search strings to see which one will yield more relevant results. So one of the search strings that we had looked at was AI tools and generative AI. And then the second search term, we had students or university students. And then the third search term, that's where we had learning or assessment or writing. So we are still going to use a similar string on the advanced search option in order to search for results. And for an example, the first search term will go with artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence or generative AI, which is similar to what we had started with, or generative AI, or ChatGPT, which is one of the generative AI tools that students use quite a lot. Close, and then we'll go to the second search term. And with the second search term, so previously what we had used for this one was students or university students. So with the second search term, what we're going to use is university students or undergraduates or postgraduates. We're trying to be more specific with regards to the string. So we'll go with university students, my brackets. University students. This is not supposed to be in capital letters. Just going to go back a bit. University students or undergraduates or see there's a spelling there. Undergraduates or postgraduates. Close. And then the third search term will go with previously what we had used was learning or assessment or academic writing. So you can also expand on that if probably maybe you want to look at or encompass student performance or pedagogy. So those are search terms that you can also include as part of your advanced search. So I'm just going to type in learning. Just want to remove the phrase searching there because learning is one word. Learning or assessment or academic writing, or student performance, or pedagogy. Now, as you type out these search terms, to the left, there is a context search option. And the context search option would allow you to search for the particular or specific search string within the title, within the keywords. So right where it says context search, beneath that, there is the option to search anywhere. So you can search within the title, you can search within the author, the keywords, the abstract, or the author affiliation. Now, sometimes the context search option, wherein you select a specific area that you want to search in, it can sometimes limit or narrow down your search such that you won't be able to get any search results. So if you use the context search filter options and you're not getting any results, I'd strongly recommend that you go back and then change and search anywhere or in the abstract probably. For illustration purposes, I'll go with title for the first search term, and then I'll proceed to search. For this one, it will say 0 results, and then the moment it brings back this 0 results option, just pay attention to the fact that it could be the title that you had selected to search within. Whereas if we remove that option and go with search anyway, we'll still get the relevant results that we are looking for. Let me just quickly see artificial intelligence or generative AI or ChatGPT, university students or undergraduates, or, okay, let me just quickly fix a spelling error there to see if that is going to make any difference to the search string here. We'll search to see if there's something there. It's still saying 0 search results. What I'll do is I'll try and copy these and paste them on the basic search to see if that will give us some results for this. So I'm just going to paste that there. University students. Or university students or undergraduates. Can't really see. I think my search string is a bit long. Let me just see. Artificial intelligence. I'm not sure what I could be doing wrong there. Generative AI or ChatGPT. Just see what happens when I remove ChatGPT. But it shouldn't have an impact. Seem to be hitting a wall there. Move that. It could be that it's the ChatGPT option that was not yielding results, which is strange because I'm certain that there are articles that speak to ChatGPT. Just gonna type that in here just to see. Okay, it seems there's not a lot, but there are articles that touch on or speak to ChatGPT. So that is some of the ways you can go about searching for resources. And whenever it is that it returns no search results, you just have to try and do some diagnostics to see what could be the problem or what could be leading to not getting specific search results whenever it is that you are conducting your search. But I would strongly recommend the Wiley Online Library as one of the databases that you can search in, especially if it is that your research covers a wide range of subjects or is interdisciplinary. But even when it's not interdisciplinary, you can have a look at the subjects in order to see how much of the resources are available on Wiley Online Library that speak to the specific subject area that you are focusing on. And with that, everyone, thank you very much for attending this session. We hope to see you in the next sessions that we'll be conducting, as the postgraduate training program is still ongoing. Thank you, everyone. Do enjoy the rest of your day.